Welcome back, folks. My name is LastKnownMeal, and welcome to the Cyberpunk 2077 Community Podcast, episode 86. To date with us, we have the usual squad, starting from the right. MadQueen, welcome.
Greetings, Earthlings.
Then Neon Arcade.
Hello, people. What's going on?
And Subsidian from the Triple S League.
Hello, everybody.
Well, we had a busy week behind us and ahead of us as we have to analyze all the new trailers. But one thing I want to mention to everyone before we start is that keep in mind that due to PlayStation, I believe, copies going out, someone got them and actually started posting some leaks online. So please be careful where you click, what you click on, disable certain keywords. It's because you don't want to be spoiled. That's not. But yeah, be vigilant. It's just stupid that 2 weeks before the game comes out, just to wait a little while, but some people couldn't, and that's why we are in this situation. But still, yeah, be careful.
Yeah.
I don't know. Let's see. Now
We're still like a couple weeks out as well, too, right? So you're gonna have to dodge spoilers and leaks for the next 18 days. So be careful out there.
true.
And I mean, it's amazing the stupidity of some people. Like, somebody was streaming this game.
Yeah.
Like, what did you think was going to happen? like, I can understand if it was a burner account, like somebody doing that, but apparently it wasn't. Apparently it was some person just like, "I got it early, guys. Let's go."
What was it was a couple of kids, wasn't it? It was like some teenagers.
Probably.
Yeah.
Oh, and they're gonna be in deep trouble.
I mean,
Lock them up. Lock them up. And throw away the key.
Like this is gonna happen too. You're gonna see this happen. Like, we're gonna have more of this stuff happen. The other thing that you're gonna have happen is you're gonna have kids, like teenagers, who are streaming the game, and I'm sure this is gonna happen in some big personalities as well. They're gonna be streaming the game, and they're gonna forget to turn on the streamer mode, and either the music or the nudity is gonna take them down.
Yeah. But yeah, one thing that people like, especially with leaks, one people don't understand, those things you can get into serious trouble by leaking stuff. Like serious legal, I don't know if jail is involved in that, but I'm sure that huge fines are involved.
Well, I
Jail
mean,
time- go ahead.
they don't have any contract with the Project Red to not leak things. But the problem is, how did they acquire the original? If they stole it from GameSpot or from Amazon, that's stealing, which is illegal.
Yeah.
True. I don't know. I think, I mean, it would be I wouldn't mind that leakers have some sort of a fine. I really wouldn't mind that, especially for this lawsuits. Yeah, as Rifter says. I mean, it's gonna happen for sure. But
Yeah.
Well, leaks are kind of weird, because some leaks are like, once it enters the public domain, then it's public. It's essentially public domain, and you have nobody to blame but yourself. But there are other things that are a little bit more tricky, and you can often chase after the person who's leaking, but not necessarily the person who is reporting on those leaks. We go out of our way to make sure that we check things, and we keep things fairly random and rumored, and we don't get down into certain details when we are reporting on leaks. But you have to be really careful in how exactly you're doing this, because if you do it the wrong way, it's like, yeah, you can get in legal hot water. Or whenever you're posting any kind of leaks, a company can come after you. They may not have, they most of the time they don't have a case, but they can certainly like drag you to court and make you like talk. So
Is there a reason?
Depending
Is there a reason why there's not any sort of protection for even physical discs? Like, why would they not have to implement like a day zero patch to play? Like, why can't they just slot in the disc and start playing right away? I guess it's on an older build, and there's
it breaks a rule if you sell a product that has a If it has a like key required on it, like a kind of like a turnkey. I think that's the appropriate terminology. Is where it's like we're selling you this product, we're selling you a car, but the car won't work until
Yeah.
Tuesday of next month.
Oh, that makes sense.
And so I think that is illegal, which is why these companies, like the physical stores, the box stores, are supposed to guarantee their product. Now, if they can like identify where that leaked out at, and if it was stolen, then they could prosecute them for stealing.
Yeah.
And you can actually take somebody to court and put them in jail for stealing a candy bar.
Mm-hmm.
It's just
I
not
guess
worth it.
I guess
in
that's also
most
where
cases.
DRM, the game being DRM free is kind of
Mhm.
nips them in the butt a little bit, right?
Yeah.
It's a good thing overall, but there's loopholes there.
Mm-hmm. And that's why I knew this was going to happen when they did the last delay, because I knew that that certain copies have already reached certain points in the shipping chain, and that you wouldn't have a way of stopping this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But instead of it being like a few days out, it's like it's longer.
Sucks.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But on a more positive side, we did have the Night City Wire, and for a lot of people, this was the best Night City Wire. So, what do you guys think? I'll start from Sip, from left.
The Night City Wire was great. I liked that we got to see a little bit more of Johnny, and we also got to see a little bit more of Keanu Reeves and how he performs. And not a lot of people. There are people who just have so many issues, acting in front of like in a green screen, wearing a very uncomfortable, unflattering motion capture suit, right? There's a lot of people who have difficulty in that scenario, and we can see that like he's got that down pat, and you can see that he's doing things, he's acting in such a way that reflects that he knows that his character has long hair, when all of his hair is done up into a little like bundle, so that it doesn't interfere with motion capture. It's like that's really great. So like Keanu Reeves again just increases in his skill level to me. Like I wasn't a huge fan of his when I was younger, but like I look on his stuff now and I'm like, yeah, dude's got like serious chops. Like serious chops. So that was the biggest thing that stood out to me.
Mm-hmm.
Leon?
Yeah, I like that we got a little bit more context on the story. We got to see some of those flashback sequences. I remember we talked about this so long ago that it would be cool if they had those flashback sequences in Braindance, and then they showed it, and we kind of thought it was Braindance, but it seems like it's more like a traditional flashback sequence tied to the chip now. I thought that was really, really cool. And the new perk tree, the new skill and perk tree, looks incredible. So I'm very excited to get into that one.
Nice.
So yeah, I think this was my favorite one so far.
Okay. Mad Queen?
Well, I liked it a lot. To be completely honest, I expected that the music segment would be longer. Well, before starting with my commentary on it for the people listening to this, I'm terribly sorry I couldn't stream the Wire live, but I just didn't feel like it. Unfortunately, once a month I need to pay my monthly Womanhood subscription, and I was like dying. So these things happened. So I couldn't stream it, but I watched it. The next day I could watch it, and then make a commentary and a breakdown with it with Jay from Talsorian Games. And I expected the segment part to be longer, just because this is the part that I wanted to hear about the most. By the way, if in case you don't know, you will be finding in Spotify. In Spotify, you'll find some tracks, the EP of the soundtrack of the game. If you want to hear it, the one that is composed by Martin Zubovic, P.T. Adamczyk, and Paul Leonard Morgan. And for the rest, well, I was looking forward to see more details about Johnny Silverhand. I thought they were going to explain a little more. I was afraid that maybe they were going to spoil something. In a part they did. We already knew from the past one that Johnny was going to be a playable character at some point of the game, which I expect is going to work on Rails, like it happened with City in The Witcher 3. Also, we could see the attack to the Arasaka Towers. We already saw the beginning of Never Fade Away, so I believe it was quite obvious that we were going to see the attack to the Arasaka Towers, and Al Cunningham and Rogue, and still as it's been pointed out, we didn't see Blackhand so far, but he doesn't have a drink in the afterlife, so most probably that means that he's alive. Yeah, we saw a lot of things, but we didn't see Morgan Blackhand yet. I believe that we also saw Hanako Arasaka, who I do believe she's the person responsible for the existence of the immortality chip, as she was always a very skilled netrunner and programmer. And after the fourth, she became obsessed with studying the original Soul Killer by Al Cunningham before Arasaka turned it into a weapon. So it sounds to me like she's the person responsible for the existence of the immortality chip because, first, it is closer to the original idea of Al Cunningham when she created the Soul Killer, because she wanted to find the way to, for immortality, basically. Although after Arasaka took it, immortality, yes, on a completely different concept. It was super interesting. I'm not sure if people that don't know enough of the lore could see all the things and understand what they were seeing, because it's different. If you recognize what you are seeing one gameplay trailer. If you don't, you are just seeing things moving and fantastic weapons and good looking characters, and that's pretty much it. You're not following the story of the trailer. It's a pity, but yeah, lovely. I loved it.
Juicebox, thank you so much for your donation. Just wanted to quickly thank the Gang of Four. You've kept us all sane throughout the wait with amazing content, and I really appreciate. Thank you, Juicebox. Thank you for everything. Thank you all for coming in and watching. Please, if you can, smash that like button, because every time you do it, a brick falls off from the Arasaka Tower. So I'll bring it down. Don't worry. So, yeah, obviously one thing which Night's Wire focused on a lot and what I really enjoyed it is that it actually talked more about the story. Okay, so this is what happens with this is what happens with the chip and why the chip ended up in V in the first place. And the other thing is definitely the amount of stuff we had seen for his past, as you said, because it's actually something that we are going to participate in and control, I guess, Johnny. But one thing which kind of stood out is in some scenes or shots, we can see the Silverhand arm, but it's kind of almost overlaying ours. So I'm guessing we let Johnny take over the body for a bit. What do you think about that?
Well, there's actually a reason for that, which is kind of, I don't know, I think it treads on spoilery territory. Because, yeah, I was reading the GameSpot preview, and they actually do mention exactly why that's happening. It is a tad spoilery, but
yeah, well, not. We're gonna have.
I mean, you can assume what happens, right?
Yeah, but still, very cool to actually. It's gonna be interesting to have like someone, and we saw that in the Xbox gameplay that he doesn't, for example, trust Judy and whatever, and it's like, okay, so you're gonna have Johnny saying things to your head that will make you question other people. So I think on that front, that's great. But I don't know, what do you think about the theory that there is? I mean, obviously this is not spoilery, but what do you think about the theory that the chip where Johnny is, that it's been altered with? That it's not the version of Johnny that we know, that there is something more at hand. What do you think about that possibility?
I think that it's the idea that you can control Johnny is probably a mistake that a lot of people made, and that they might think that they did or could or can, but things are not going to end up that way, I think.
No, we'll see. Now, also, this is the last Night's Wire, everyone. There is not going to be any until release. Obviously, we don't know if when the game comes out, if they're going to use Night's Wires as a form of, communicating content and future expansions and DLCs and everything, but we'll see. Yeah. Now, what did you all think about the updated Gunplay and general bit of a melee that we had seen from the Xbox gameplay, because it looked different than usual.
I think that was one of the most surprising things that I read from all the previews is everybody, it was like almost unanimous that the melee was actually not only had they improved it, but like a lot of people preferred it to the gunplay. Like there are people that were playing the game that were pretty crazy about the melee and the sword play. So uh I'm looking forward to testing that out, seeing how it's changed. We saw a bit in the Xbox footage, right, with the black unicorn katana. So
True, it's gonna be great. Yes, research. Well, technically, yeah, there will be an NCV special for PlayStation gameplay. We don't know when is that happening, but I guess another surprise stream. Yeah, that was totally unexpected, to be honest.
you know what? We like those though.
Yeah.
The unexpected ones are nice. So more of those.
You want the truth? For like a second, because my phone started going off, I thought the game was delayed again.
Oh man.
I legit thought, I was like, oh god, no.
And then your world became yellow.
But yeah, it's good thing that it was actual gameplay. But no, it looks actually great, improved. Especially, we all saw did you all see the RTX trailer, the behind the scenes one? That train. So
Those
good.
reflections, man, like when there's rain on the floor and you're driving through the middle of the center of the city. I'm worried about my performance going through that, right? We're gonna get 5 FPS, but yeah, it looks incredible.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's not something that everyone right now has, but it's definitely something which is going to become, well, a standard, I guess, in the near future with all the new GPUs.
Yeah.
Yeah. We also did have the system requirements. I will put that on the screen. Just give me a sec. They updated the system requirements with RTX settings. Here we go. Should be on the screen right now. So as we can see, the minimum we already know. So regarding graphics card, you will need GTX 780 or Radeon RX 470 if you want to run it on minimum. 1060 with 6 gigs of RAM for recommended with 1660 Super and RX 590. Of course, for high, you will need 2060 and for Ultra, 2080S and 3070 or Radeon RX 6800 XT. But we also got the expanded ray tracing settings, and for, of course, Ultra ray tracing in 4K, you will need RTX 3080, for ray tracing high 3070, and for ray tracing minimum 2060. So what does everyone think about these settings?
I think it's kind of to be expected.
Yeah.
They don't show a frame rate, right? But I think they did mention in their article that this is with DLSS. So that's upsampling technology that they have, which means without it, I don't know what kind of frame rates you're going to be getting, right? But yeah, I think it's kind of to be expected. High-end gear for RT Ultra and high.
True, but also, yeah, one thing everyone needs to keep in mind is that SSD, it's not like for minimum SSDs recommended, but I really recommend SSDs because there's a lot of stuff to be loaded and you need fast transfer speed for that. Yeah. And 70 gigs, but everyone also expects a fairly big, not too big, but fairly big day one patch in a sense. We'll see how big that is going to be. I don't know, maybe 10, 12 gigs. Depends on the compression itself. Yeah. In the other news that we did have, besides the music and everything, we also did find out that you will have a couple of things as an extra in the game. For example, if you actually connect your game to GOG, you will actually get a samurai jacket with a wolf, School of the Wolf on the back. So for all the Witcher fans, that's great. And also bonus rewards like having other games. I guess that sword you probably get by owning Witcher 3 or something, or I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And also for Gwent, if you connect it, if you have Cyberpunk, you will get some rewards there, like breathtaking title, and I believe the deck have the deck skin and also the coin on the side, which has samurai logo on it. So yeah, quite an interesting, honestly, Night City Wire. At first, like I said, like, nah, this is not my most favorite one. But when I went through all of the footage, it's like, yeah.
Which one was your most favorite before this one, or that you were thinking?
I would say one which did they have like guns and cars at one, or was it divided?
They were divided, I think. Guns were the first one, and then cars came.
Oh yeah, the cars one then.
The
Definitely.
cars one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I loved it. Because honestly, I was a little bit afraid, because like obviously I know that this is RPG first. I know that it's not gonna have some insane, but I still, when I see the amount of work they spend for it, and when I actually saw like the car driving, etc., I was like, yeah, this is definitely something up to the standard of indie when we're talking about RPG, because yeah, it is important when you think about it, both driving and shooting, because if it's good, you're not going to be forced to go into a gunfight. You're actually going to enjoy it. So I think that ultimately helps the full experience of the game when you have all of these segments which work well. I don't know, what do you think about that?
Yeah.
No, yeah. Yeah.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
Oh, you go ahead. Go ahead.
It's yeah.
Two
Now
Canadians, you go ahead. No, please, you go ahead. No,
right?
please, you-
And I was thinking about that. Now I've lost my train of thought. Oh.
We're just too damn polite. That's what it is.
So
No,
now
after you.
go. He's like, I've completely lost my train of thought. You go ahead.
Well, so have I. So. What was the question again?
I think we were talking about cars and guns and
Cars,
why they're
yeah.
important for, even though this is an RPG, technically, if they're done well, they ultimately help the game, the full experience.
Oh, that's what it. So my immediate thought is like, well, the most important thing I think we need to have, a car with a gun. So I can't wait for us to have that access of having a car with several miniguns, mounted up on it. I don't know if that's in the game.
Well, I think
dream.
I think Pablo Sasko had an interview after the Wire with the Twitch gaming guys, and he mentioned the Cyberpunk Racing and that there's weaponry involved and mounted guns and stuff. So I think that's their Cyberpunk spin on it.
Yeah, and good weapons are really important. I still remember one of my most favorite things from the very first Mass Effect is the weapons that I got my hands on, especially some of the shotguns that you do the charge up attack and whatever. And the combat was kind of like crap in comparison to like today, but it's still something that was really, really fun and really, really good. And having that memory was like, that's the cool thing. So yeah, guns are important, even if not more so important in an RPG.
Yeah. Okay. Ashton, do any of you know the skills and class system works to create a solo or netrunner? So basically the skill tree is going to be fluid in a sense. So of course solo and netrunner are somewhat the default classes you can go to, but you can of course mix and match to abilities and skills to fit your own playstyle. So that's probably the best explanation we have for it now without looking at it. But yeah, we did actually see some of those skills in the gameplay trailer, and then like there is a lot. There is a
Yeah.
lot.
I think if you want a good example of that, go to the ending of the gameplay trailer, where you're in the animals layer and you shoot somebody and then you quick hack somebody and then you take out your cyberware and you blow them up, and then you can like really chain it like that. So I think that's a good example of the fluid class system at play there.
That's beautiful. To be able
I
to
know,
just
right?
to be able to just make combos like that. I don't know. It's always
Yeah, yeah. It looks great.
yeah. Let me see. Feel free, guys, to drop any questions. We're gonna be answering them. Don't worry.
So, I have a thing that I'm wondering, especially if the lore hounds want to like jump in on. What are your thoughts about the class system? We know that traditional cyberpunk has a much more rigid structure to its class system. Do you think that one of the reasons why V isn't held back to that, I mean, is it just because they wanted to do it for the game, or do you think the chip plays a particular role in it, and that after having the chip installed, that's when you might be able to access some of the more non-traditional skill types, and that actually calls back to buying skills through chips and implants and things like that in the traditional 2020 role. What do you guys think of that, especially Mad Queen?
Well, no, this is not exactly accurate because in the traditional pen and paper game 2020 already this concept of multi-class already existed.
Yeah.
You know, Morgan Blackhand used to say that you cannot be a good solo if you don't have techie abilities to repair your own weapons. And in the next installment, which is Cyberpunk Red, in Cyberpunk Red, there are specific rules to help in this transition and this multi-class, where you, for instance, can be a rocker boy that later on becomes an exec because he becomes the CEO of some corporation. So all this is reflected. It's reflected in the last installment of the pen and paper game, but it already existed in Cyberpunk 2020. It's just that the rules didn't. You had to homebrew a little bit to adapt it to the philosophy behind all this concept. Also, in Cyberpunk 2077, we could see that they explained about solos and about netrunners, but they didn't mention techies. And techies, because I guess it's because, excuse me, it's because they don't follow this closed system of classes. But Cyberpunk Red is already getting a little bit away from it, of a rigid class. Not to mention that usually the character classes are related to the job you do for a living. It's not the same talking about rocker boys, medias, cops, well, lawmen, than talking about a mercenary. Usually a mercenary is a solo. But in the case of Cyberpunk 2077, the job is a mercenary and it's a solo, but it has techie or net running abilities. Obviously, you are going to need, unless you try to do zero killing, a totally pacifist playthrough, you are going to need solo abilities because there's an important part of shooting involved in this game. Unless you go, for the weapons of Kang Tao that are automatic with this automatic aiming and such. But the idea behind the mercenaries is that they have to be proficient with weapons to be able to defend themselves. Basically, because if you don't know how to use a weapon in Night City, you're dead. So it's more. It seems to me that Cyberpunk 2077 is more thought to be a solo, and then have more things.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I don't know if I explained myself in here.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, that's good. That's kind of what I wanted to have that take on, because we see a significant amount of like the room to grow and whatnot in the game. So, and I was wondering if there was a particular like reason for that.
Yeah. I mean, it would be cool. I mean, obviously, everyone would love if you could have just 9 classes from like 2020 and whatever. To make it work, but I don't know. I think this kind of fits the best because people. I think that's a good way to kind of get the workload off, because I think making a game for 9 classes wouldn't be easy, especially when you count in like the media class and all of that. That obviously changes the gameplay a lot. But yeah, this was kind of okay. So you cannot join the gangs. You're kind of a neutral person in a sense, but you can still make decisions. But have a skill tree to shape your own character how you want it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I don't know. This is probably the best without constraints. Like people say like, oh, you cannot join a gang. Joining a gang does not mean you can then join a gang and go speak with the 6th Street tomorrow.
Yeah.
It
I mean, you
limits
can do the next best thing. You can do jobs and hustles for them, right? Like, why would you actually want to join them besides, I don't know, aesthetic purposes, maybe? You know, you're still doing jobs for them. So effectively, if you want to, you know, make it seem like you're joining the gang, you tell yourself that, and you're part of the gang.
I see that bozo in the chat here. Yes, I see it.
They're going to be jail like in Skyrim. We don't know that. Probably not. It's probably gonna be game over because they'll just shoot. They won't be saying, "Oh yes, you're gonna go to jail." Oh my god, yeah. Especially with V's track record, stealing cars and all of that. But yeah, we had seen a couple of things. Obviously, one thing that like. Some people thought that you get a wanted level immediately. No. Like we've seen, like there's gonna be gunfights. There's gonna be situation where you flatline people, but it doesn't mean that immediately you will have wanted level and CPD coming after you. So don't worry about that. It's dark future after all. I mean, okay.
Daniel's asking, do they have prisons in Night City?
Yeah, well, law-wise they do.
Well.
You don't want to visit them, that's for sure. But yes, the lower level are like any kind of typical prison in the United States, and the higher level is basically people locked inside brain dance.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think that's probably the best pacification tool, right? Brain dance.
Well, the best pacification tool usually is a bullet in the head, but the second best is brain dance.
This is true?
Well, yeah, it pacifies a lot.
Of course, you'd be the first one to say that. You trigger happy, Mad Queen.
And also prisons are known for having a very tight security, with bots and that, security bots and all that. So I don't believe infiltrating a prison may be interesting if you have net running abilities and you can do something with the bots, or like opening all the gates and create a riot inside the prison or something like that. But I believe it's too complex and not needed in the video game.
But that would be cool.
It's just some additional fun.
Well, obviously, this week, like, I want to go maybe into the Xbox gameplay. We had seen Xbox Series X gameplay, and we had seen Xbox One X. So, what did you all think about that? About the frame rate, quality, whatever.
Looks solid. I can't wait to see what the upgraded, the unleashed upgrades that the next gen get. That's going to be interesting.
Yeah, because then it'll have full ray tracing and all the eye candy goodies going on there. Yeah, I thought it looked really good. I had some people in my chat saying that they thought the frame rate was dipping too much, but I actually didn't notice that. So didn't look too janky. I know in the past we've seen some like jank going on with models and animations. I thought it looked pretty good, considering. Now, obviously, the NPC density is probably not going to be on par with a high NPC. But with that being said, I don't think they were walking through sections that were the most dense when it comes to NPC density anyways. So, yeah, it looked good to me.
Okay. Mad Queen?
It looked good, but as usual, I want this is one of the things that I want to experience by myself. But in this generation, I have a PlayStation 4. I don't know if it's going to look the same than this generation of Xbox, and I don't know if the next generation I'm going to buy a console. For now, I have a PC that works very well. So yeah, it looks good, but as I'm not interested in playing on Xbox. Not information that is very useful for me, apart from enjoying the view and all that. I'm not sure if this was advertising of the game or advertising of the new Xbox.
Maybe a bit of both.
Yeah, a little bit of both.
Yeah. But one thing I really want to commend, I mean, obviously we commend the level design and how beautiful the game looks, but one thing that kind of stood out a lot are just the sound effects and the city. Like, it was surreal to actually like just get the headphones out, and even though it's for 10 minutes, but and even though that city segment is only a minute, but overall I was really happy with just the sounds of the city, because that's also an important part, I guess, of immersion, not just the video part or all the graphics part.
Yeah. I think that was also a good showcase of just how much Johnny follows you around. He appears at like all the doors, and he's there quite frequently, you know, talking into your ear about what you should be doing, what you shouldn't be doing.
Oh
So
yeah.
I think you get a good taste of how much he's gonna pop up in a segment like that, where it's just consistent gameplay and not cuts.
Yeah.
As I usually say, people, I'm looking forward to see the reactions of people who know nothing about the lore, the reactions to Johnny Silverhand, especially because they associate it with the type of characters that usually Keanu Reeves play. And they believe that he's going to be a very good person, some sort of more or less anti-hero. And I just loved when V calls him a terrorist.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, yeah, yes he is, yes he is. People are going to explain. Are going to expect some sort of John Wick or something like that. Freedom, because the legends around Johnny Silverhand, when you watch lore videos about him, they always talk about he's some sort of like the singer of Rage Against the Machine, and he's a freedom fighter. But yeah, how far does he go to fight for this? Well, actually, no. Fighting for freedom was only an excuse for him, because this is Cyberpunk, and Cyberpunk everything is personal always. But yeah, they're going to expect like a good guy, and they're going to find Johnny Silverhand. It's going to be fantastic. I'm going to watch a lot of streams just to see people react to Johnny Silverhand.
Wolfie Studios, thank you so much for your support. Thank you. Yeah, but we obviously had seen some characters from before. There was that scene with, I believe, Adam Smasher during 2020. And also, did we see Shaytan anywhere? I was trying to find him. I know he was involved, but I was trying to find him in those segments. I don't know, maybe he did appear, but I didn't recognize him. Yeah.
Yeah, he might be hard to recognize in. You mean in the flashback sequences?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Fourth, yeah.
No.
Well, in this part where Johnny falls and Adam Smasher jumps and says, "Yeah, I told you I was going to kill you," Satan should be on his back.
Wow. I wonder how they're gonna make him look, though. We'll see. Some people have been saying that. I love how people say that he's the ninja. I'm like, he's never going to put anything Arasaka related on him. I mean,
No, not at all. I'm sure. I mean, I can imagine Shaytan. When Morgan Blackhand went to him like, "Well, listen, Militech wants to hire you because we're going to attack Arasaka." I'm sure that even if he was told that there wasn't no money involved, even if he was asked to pay to go with the Black Ops team, he would have paid to be there.
Right?
I mean, yeah, Shaytan is the guy. He uses his free time just to annoy Arasaka and Saburo. That's his free time. So no, if he is that guy, he's not Shaytan anymore. That's just a shell. But yeah.
It means devil in Arabic, by the way. For those of you who don't know in chat. Pretty cool.
Yeah.
Well, in the Attack of the Arasaka Towers, he should be, the old Shaytan.
Yeah. True.
If he survived up to 2077, he may have changed a bit, but I want to see Morgan Blackhand.
Yeah. I mean, obviously. I wonder, I'm thinking they have to. Maybe they have someone special for Morgan.
I mean, maybe you can play a flashback sequence of him at the top with Mr.
God.
Smasher there. You know,
Imagine
that'd be
that.
some good fan service.
But I am super curious. I mean, the fact that all characters, there's a big gap of time in the middle. Characters obviously evolved. So what would be the evolution of Morgan Blackhand and his philosophy regarding megacorporations? If he was the one who detonated the bomb in the Arasaka Towers or not?
Mm.
Because I'm really curious.
Mm.
And all those things.
There was one more thing, just for a split second though, and that was the scene underwater. Did you notice that? That was unexpected.
Mm-hmm.
Not really. I mean, I believe it was Miles Tost when he was in the podcast. He said we would be able to swim.
Mm-hmm.
But no, I meant the actual below, like the houses and everything. Like that
Yeah,
was like
Yes, I remember. I remember this conversation because then we started to talk about the rules for what happened to cyberware underwater in the fourth corporate war,
Mm-hmm.
and he mentioned that we would be underwater in the game.
I was just picturing like just wading in the water or like diving a little bit, but the
Yeah.
dude on the left has like a full scuba suit going on. So maybe this is tied to a mission and it's not just like a well, obviously it looks like it's tied to a mission and it's not just a free roam activity, but I wonder where they're going. You can see some sunken buildings down there.
Yeah, and these buildings look like pre-collapse.
Yeah.
So I wonder if this takes place going to the Morro Bay, or is some lake, or what? What is that?
Well, I've said it many, many times. If you're going to have an evil corporation with an evil headquarters, you need to secure your plumbing. Because, I mean, just the fact that so many people get into the building through the plumbing or the air ducts is like, wow, guys. Wow.
Although, I would love to hear more about Militech and the guys. I mean, there is so much emphasis on Arasaka. I believe like all of the other corporations are just smiling in the back, especially Militech. Like yes, yeah, you destroy Arasaka again. No worries, we'll wait right here. So
Wait in the shadows.
yeah.
Well, the rest we don't know how expanded. What's the importance that the rest of the mega corporations are going to have? Because we were introduced Militech before we were introduced Arasaka, and at the beginning of the game, in the prologue, I don't know, the Eurospace Agency is mentioned. We know more or less what companies are in the corporate plaza, but beyond the logo on the corporate plaza and the logo on the weapons of Kangtao, Militech, and Arasaka, are they going to explain? How much are they going to explain of the corporations? Maybe, I don't know, maybe we can break in some corporation for a second request, and all the mains are going to revolve around Arasaka.
Yeah. Sure. Yeah, Randy, no one is spoiling Cyberpunk. If you watch the gameplay trailer, you would see it all.
I wonder.
Yeah, everything. Sorry.
I was just gonna say, I wonder how much Takamura is with you because he was actually a prominent person in the gameplay trailer as well, right? And he wants revenge. I think he said something about revenge on Arasaka. So, I wonder how much he plays into that main story thread.
Did he mention specifically he wanted revenge against Arasaka or just revenge?
Well, they were speaking in reference to Arasaka. Within the context, it sounds like it's Arasaka.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's the
I
context.
think it is.
He said like revenge against Arasaka. What does that even mean? Like V says, I believe, to Johnny.
Or just I don't remember the part. I understood that he meant a specific person inside Arasaka.
And then you can also see him speaking to Oda at one point, yeah. So
About Hanako.
getting juicy, getting interesting.
Yeah. So one thing I just want to say for the comments, like people who say that they saw the leak and they say that the game is having whatever. Obviously, you're playing a leak. So just keep not playing. You're watching a leak. Just keep that in mind. Of course, you're not going to have the same experience, God. But yeah.
It was probably on like a stupid flip phone or something like that anyways, right? It's probably like a horrible recording quality.
And
Terrible.
also without the day zero patch.
Yeah.
That too.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like driving an unfinished car and saying that car doesn't want to perform. obviously the day one patch it's like that. That's why there is a release date after all.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. Obviously we have how many days? 18?
17. Well, 17 tomorrow, yeah.
Wow. Wow. There was also a question if we are going to do reviews. Obviously, yeah, once the game is out, I guess.
Mhm.
I mean, obviously, all of us are going to review the game.
Probably going to be streaming it day of, so.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think streaming it depends a lot on the nudity filter, right? You want to get your stream taken down like 5 times in a row and have to deal with that.
Yeah. Yeah, so for everyone who wants to stream, check 2 options. Check for streamer mode, and one thing that one thing that we missed is that they added a DMCA filter, I guess, to replace all of the tracks which potentially could get you in trouble with other tracks which won't get you in trouble. So that's really cool. That's very commendable that they added that.
Mm-hmm. Makes it so much easier.
I mean, yeah.
Especially after the whole Twitch DMCA thing that just recently happened with everybody having to delete like years and years of clips. I think this is definitely welcome news. Good timing on that.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, some people said like, oh, CDPR said everything is going to be DRM. Well, you have to realize that they're also working with ASAP Rocky, with Run the Jewels, with etc. people that also have other contracts and obligations towards other companies, and those companies kind of own them in a sense. So that's why certain songs cannot be played, whatever. And CDPR cannot really buy every single right or full rights for every single song. Sadly, it doesn't go that way, especially if their name is involved into that. So yeah, but they added this filter, so we won't have any issues. But without it, of course, feel free to, as you play the game, listen to all the fan tunes. Yeah.
How do people create like GTA content? Because that game is filled to the brim with licensed music. I'm sure it's hard to work around that, right?
Yeah. I mean, music is instantly off when you're streaming, because I believe every single one of their songs is licensed. They have shows. So. Yeah, they have shows that they create, obviously. Good. I mean, Rockstar has iconic radio shows from various channels, radio stations, but a lot of that music is obviously copyrighted and licensed, which is different than actually CDPR hiring people to work specifically for the game. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So those little shenanigans, but that's just how things go. DMCA does suck, but it's not the fault of, sadly, it's not the fault of platforms. It's the fault of the laws that are there in place and outdated.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. Let's see if there's any other comments. Did I miss anything about last week?
We talked about the. Did we talk last week about the Run the Jewels music video? I think that was last week, right?
Yeah.
My time perception is so bad at this point, with 17 days left. It's like, what happened last week? What happened 2 weeks ago?
Yeah, it's tough. It's especially now when you have just everyone. There is news everywhere. Like, check this out. So it's hard to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We had the QA lead share his total playtime on the Nomad.
Yes. What do you think of that? Just to say, like, so Lukasz Babiel, I believe that's the lead QA lead at CD Projekt Red. He shared his Nomad playthrough. He has, I believe, 170 something hours in it. He was playing on hardest difficulty, taking it slow, stealthy kind of a playthrough, and I believe he didn't finish everything. He's
Oh,
taking
yeah.
all of the content in.
Yeah.
That was great. What do you? Like, it's crazy. Like, just have 176 and just one life pad.
Well, I mean, at the same time, this is their job. They have to play it like nonstop. So maybe it's not super indicative of a
Yeah.
normal person's playthrough, but still, I mean, he's done 175 hours and he hasn't done everything.
Yeah.
That's insane to me, right?
I mean, even taking it slow, like, that's a lot.
And this is one life path. It's not like this is this is not the combined. It's not the combined playtime between Corpo, Street Kid, whatever.
Yeah.
This is just Nomad.
Yeah.
So
There were two questions. One was a while ago. It's like it asked, can we actually join the Corpos instead of betraying them every time? Now, we don't know to what extent. Obviously, this is your story, and I guess that developers at CDPR counted in for the fact that some people would like to kind of maybe help Arasaka or someone. So probably, I mean, yeah, I don't see a reason, but don't expect much from them. I wouldn't pledge allegiance to a corpo just like that. Rex, I heard Lizzie Wizzy is romanceable. Is it true? We don't know. Do we know? I think no. No.
I think again it might tread into that territory of having a celebrity as the voice, and then
Yeah.
romancing that celebrity is kind of weird in a
Yeah.
way. So I'm not sure.
We'll see. The normal mode. Donut97. Well, at start the game won't have official support, I believe, on release, but I think a long time ago Marcin said on Twitter that they're taking into account obviously modding community and mods, so it would be great if they actually released a modding tools for the game. Yeah.
We also had news on photo mode. It's gonna be there day one.
Oh yes.
Haven't really talked too much about that. We don't know much about it. I think they're gonna reveal more details about that soon, but they did mention just briefly that you'll be able to pose your character and take some really nice screenshots. Combine that with RTX and geez, I can't wait to see what people create.
I think photo mode is genius because it's essentially like free marketing. It's showcasing graphics. It's showcasing your game throughout every single social media. Like, god damn it.
I think there's definitely going to be a strong niche community that's just completely invested in photo mode.
Oh, I love that. I'm one of those.
Especially once mods start coming out. You're gonna have people posting selfies like every day, showcasing. Oh, look! I'm over here. It's great. Everything's
That's
awesome.
so cool. That's so cool because I remember like the amount of images that came out on Twitter when Ghost of Tsushima came out. That was insane. I was like, and I thoroughly enjoyed like everything people posted. So now in Cyberpunk, and I can just see people climbing the tallest building just to take a selfie. But yeah, Instagram ready for pics. People creating profiles of their characters. Actually, that's not a bad idea.
Plus you're playing in first person, so people are more inclined to go into that photo mode and actually see their character in these cool stances, right?
Yeah. Hey everybody, what about PlayStation 4 gameplay? Well, as we said, they should be dropping the, I guess, gameplay. I don't know, this week, next week. We don't know. That's a surprise, I guess. So we'll see.
There's only a handful of weeks left till the game actually comes out, so it's gonna be sometime soon.
Yeah, they don't have much time. But yes, folks, we are now finally in the end game. Like, no delays. Like, no, they're not gonna happen now. So don't worry. Yeah. I wonder if Cyberpunk multiplayer will have a lot of RP in it. We'll see. We'll see how they are going to handle that. But yeah, I mean, one thing that kind of maybe talk about for the end is the amount of, like, I know that CDPR said that of course they're creating an RPG, this is not a simulation in that sense, but they want you to immerse yourself in the game. And then when I see all of the things that they added, like, okay, you have to sit down, you can eat, like actually see that animation, I mean, that is super cool, just to roam around and do stuff. You don't even have to do missions. That's yeah.
I think it's probably a little bit more of an immersive sim than The Witcher 3 was. It's not a completely, you know, it's not completely along those lines, but you can do so much, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, and I love that, because like before in RPG that I played, like obviously those mechanics were not there, but I used to, like, I don't know, you go on a hunt, you collect some stuff, and it's like, I wish I could just do some stuff with it, like cook it and something. But it's crazy that now RPGs actually allow you to do that. Going back to not an RPG, but going to Red Dead Redemption 2, just holding a cup of coffee and walking with it. That, for me, that was
Yeah.
it's a detail, but it's a detail that counts, you know?
I think having that in the game makes it a little bit more authentic, right? You can decide to do that if you want. The more choices, I mean, this is a game all about choices. We should have that choice, and they're giving it to us, right? So
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Let me see. Yeah, we don't know what's going on with the. I thought actually they were going to reveal expansions on
they
this.
still will.
Yeah, but they will. Don't worry. They won't reveal much, guys. But it's probably gonna be the title, and it's going to have maybe short description. But knowing us four, we just need a title.
Just give us a title. I remember when the news first came out that they were going to do that. They were like, oh yeah, they're going to show trailers and all this kind of stuff. And I'm like, who do you think these people are? This isn't EA. They haven't prepared like 2 years of content, to drop out post release at release so that they could fire everybody in the studio afterwards. Like, this isn't some of that. This is like, they're obviously going to be doing this like strategically, and they also they don't work on massive expansions. They don't get that stuff done before they launch the main game. Whereas other companies will hold back original vanilla content, so to speak, so that they can charge additional fees for it. It's like, I always love it when an EA game comes out and it's got like, launch date has 15, 20 DLCs. It's like, gee, probably could have just put all that into the game, you greedy Fs. Like, why?
Yeah, well, I mean, same with like people said the same thing. Like, why does CDPR put out DLCs later? Well, I mean, some of those DLCs, like some of the things you can look forward to. Because when The Witcher did that, it's like, okay, I believe one of the last DLCs for that was the School of the Viper Armor. And I'm thinking, okay, this is cool. It gives you something, something new. It's a little bit, and it's free, so yeah.
It also gives players who have like abandoned the game an incentive to come back. It's always good to incentivize people to come back to your game.
Yeah. Exactly. We'll see. So, what are your plans, guys, for next week? Maybe go from the left. Sip?
So we're gonna be streaming Shadowlands.
Oh
yeah. We're gonna be covering as much of that in the first week, really to see if the game is interesting. We built a guild, so if you are interested in sharing Shadowlands with us, join our Discord. Let us know. We're playing for fun. We're playing casually. We don't have any requirements to join other than don't be a gigantic D word. So yeah. Past that, obviously, we'll be prepping for at this point we're now prepping for the launch.
It's that time of the year.
Mm-hmm.
Neon.
So tomorrow I got my gameplay trailer analysis coming out, and then I'm behind on my lore part 2 video, but I'm hoping that I'll get that out soon before launch. So those are the 2 main ones that I'm working on right now.
MadQueen? Is she here?
So as soon as the stream ends, I'm going to publish the Cyberpunk Red review that is ready at last. And for next week, I have a video on Hanako Arasaka, which is a very important and interesting character. Oh my god, I don't know what happens with my neck. I sound like a Terminator. And also, I have the Alde Caldos ready to be explained, because it's going to be the main Nomad nation on the game. I explained the wraiths, who are the quote unquote villains, Nomad villains, but I need to explain the good guys Nomads, which are the other Caldos. And if time allows, I also shall explain the medias and bring Jim back to the stream, because apparently I did a stream with Jim and everybody loved it, and we had lots of fun. So probably this is going to happen again.
Oh yeah, I actually managed to tune in for a bit. That was great. Like, you should have him one day also on the podcast. Like that was.
But the thing is that every time that we talk together is more or less like that. So I was about to do a stream and I said, Jim, would you like to join? And he said, yeah, sure, why not?
Wait, who is this? I missed it. Who is Jim?
Jim is my writer. Jim is the poor guy who I vomit all the lore to, and he creates a beautiful script, because obviously, as English is my third language, this part of expressing myself is one of my shortages. So he writes a lot of the scripts and corrects the ones that I write.
Oh, gotcha. Cool.
And he suffered months of indoctrination to learn all the lore.
But now, that was super cool to just hear him out talk about different stuff. That was super funny though.
Yeah, that they the subject was, is Johnny Silverhand the terrorist? Demonetized automatically.
Oh yeah. Yeah, the NCV was also demonetized for like an hour. I was like, God damn it. Mimerald, thank you so much for your donation. Thoughts on Cyberpunk involvement with the Game Awards? Barely missed it this year, but will probably be GOTY 2021. Did it? So this year they missed it, right? Did they?
Yeah, they missed the...
Yeah. So yeah, probably next year. But this one, sadly, no. But as I said before, like, I mean, awards are important. I know it's recognition, but at the same time, they're not the most important thing.
Yeah.
Well, it's more important to have it so far from the release, because you have your own marketing investment for the push of the release, and then a year later, if you get the awards, you have more advertising on your game for continuous sales.
Yeah, and as Dark Hollow said, they only missed TGA. Yeah, there's other awards which also count in as Game of the Year awards, so that's why you have a bunch of Game of the Year editions from different games every single year.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah, we shall create our own Game of the Year award.
I'll be giving it to Bugsnax. I'm sorry, they're the first. All right. Now, I think we been through everything that there is. Can we enter most of the buildings? I guess most. But that's the thing, they don't want you to just enter building for the sake of entering building. They need to have something in that building, so I honestly would rather have that. Maybe we can take some questions.
Well, you know what the good thing about not all the buildings being open is? Is that this gives you the opportunity, it gives modders the opportunity to expand the game. And it gives them the ability to like add either a closed instance or an open instance, you know, alteration, whatever. And then people who have the beefy machines to run it can actually run that.
Yeah, true. Patrick, do we know if next gen will get the graphics shown in the recent comparison trailers? No. I doubt that, because I believe that we will get that once that version is done. It's probably not ready for now, but it's coming out next year, so yeah. Question: are we gonna have chemical, electric, etc. damage? I believe yes, we did see protection from chemical, fire and physical. Yeah. So yeah, obviously, yes. We also had seen that, for example, even a knife in this game, you can put a certain, I guess, toxin in it or a capsule, which, but yeah, that's only from the World of Cyberpunk book. Probably yes, also for actual crafting. Yeah. Rix, the game won't be delayed because they got a copy into retail stores. Yeah. That's, I mean, yeah, we're so close. Like, they cannot delay 3 days before release. I mean,
as we've already seen, essentially the game is playable and ready, and it's just now a matter of like distribution, waiting for physical copies to get out to every location. And then the day one patch probably is going to fix a lot of bugs, that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Havoc, what is the meaning of life? Waiting for this game.
I don't know the meaning. Bad Queen beat me to it. I was gonna say I don't know the I don't know the meaning, but the answer is 42.
Don't jinx the release. Yeah, we won't say anything. Will we be able to customize all limbs with robotic parts? I believe in the cyberware menu we did see some things including arms and legs.
Yeah, so you have your skeleton, you have hands, arms, legs, operating system, frontal cortex, your eyes, your circulatory system, immune system, nervous system, and your subdermal armor system.
Yeah. So a lot. And I really like how it looks like. Just the names, awesome. The operating system. Let me pick and choose my operating system real quick.
I wonder if they're gonna have some memes in that item, or like Easter eggs where like you pick up like a what was it? What was the worst one? Was it Windows 95 that was the worst one? But I'm thinking like Macrosoft 95, and you put it in, and your character just like your controls are inverted. Like when you go left, you go right. When you jump, you duck. Like that kind of stuff. That would be funny.
How much RAM in that? 0.1.
Key to Judy's room, like the key to Yennefer's in The Witcher.
Oh yeah.
Windows Vista. Oh my god. Yeah, so yeah, don't worry. Like, obviously, a lot of people are going to take a lot of time creating their characters and overall thing. So yeah, I think we pretty much covered everything. That there
I
is.
have a little question. Do you mind if I answer it before we leave?
Absolutely.
Nuno Rodriguez asks, low question, was there ever a time the new United States were just the United States? When did the name change? Well, the name changed because the new United States were the plan of President Meyers, who is the president of the United States. I believe he still is in 2077. She was elected at the beginning of the 70s or late 60s. I am not sure right now. And she had a plan. She had a plan of reintegrating the free states that declared independence during the collapse, reintegrating them to the federal government. And so she declared the war to the separatist states, which put North and South California in opposite sides of the war. In fact, we could see in the gameplay trailer and in the Nomad life path, the border that separates North and South California. And this is the moment when the United States changed to the new United States. And as a result of the unification war, well, she tried to, quote unquote, conquer the free states. She started to bring troops to Night City for an invasion. And suddenly, an Arasaka super carrier appeared on Del Coronado Bay. Like, hello, how are you? Just because nobody knew that Arasaka was also involved. because it was involved secretly. And the funny part is that the government of the new United States, the army of the new United States, has Militech on their side because Militech was nationalized in the Fourth Corporate War. So the president thought that she didn't want to be the president remembered for starting the Fifth Corporate War. So she said, well, okay, let's sign some sort of peace treaty and let's just forget that all this happened. And this is how the United States became to be. The new United States, sorry.
Yeah. It just tells you how strong those corporations are in this universe. Like, people don't they're really, really strong. Influence governments, everything on a whole different level. 2 questions. Can we expect a mini game like just No Witcher 3? They said there is going to be a Gwent-sized game, but not Gwent, obviously. Gwent is just for The Witcher. And can you change the color of your metal, of your cyberware? I believe so. We see a couple of instances, so I guess skins as for weapons, same will be for cyberware. Yeah, we had seen also a couple of options like Johnny's arm, I guess. So you can be, I guess, rocking that as well. Yeah. Yeah, I think we're anything you guys want to end up on? That or do you want me to?
Not really.
All yours.
Okay. Thank you all for coming. So don't forget to check out Neon Arcade, MadQueenShow, and Triple S League. You have all the links down below, so check them out on Twitter, Discord, YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to watch their content. They're all amazing Cyberpunk content creators. And yeah, see you guys next week on... Who is it?
I think it's Mad Queens. Is it mine?
Me? Oh, okay.
Oh, maybe it's me. I don't know.
I thought it was you.
was last week.
I think
Yeah.
it is me. I think it is me. Yeah, my channel.
Yes, Joshua, I have to change my profile picture. I know. I will change it. I have 3 different profile pictures. I'm looking at the Fallout one here. I'm looking at Geralt here. I'm looking at...
You should put everybody as the magnificent illustration that Neo Skies did to you.
Oh, she's great. She, I didn't. I was like, yeah. She asked me like, what do you want? I was like, I don't know, a jacket. Me looking at the camera. I'm so bad.
That's really good. She did an amazing job on that.
Yeah, she's great. Also, yeah, check out Neo Skies definitely on Twitter as well. She does really, really, really good illustrations, and also she does. God damn it, I forgot the name of that. Cyberpunk Hive.
Cyberpunk Hive?
Yes.
I'm kind of sad. Has she continued that? I don't think she has.
Is that?
Yes, she took a break, but now she's back on track.
Nice.
Okay, good. Cool.
Yeah.
Huzzah!
All right, folks.
There's a comment in the chat from oh dear, I need to do this before I forget the joke. Havoc. Havoc in the chat said a comment about nerdy girls, and I completely agree. When I took my computer in to be fixed, they did in fact manage to turn it on quite quickly. So yeah, professionalism is the best there.
I really love when Sype says a joke because his tone is like usual.
It's that serious, like.
Yeah.
Dry humor is the best.
As the answer is saying on the chat, smash that like button like Adam Smasher would. Squish that like button.
Cuckoo, well, the Discord link. Oh, no worry. I'll check out the Discord links. I do apologize about that. I'll do it straight away after we're done with this to update it in the description. Yeah. All right.
Yeah. Come hang out with me if you want to play some WoW. It's gonna be fun.
Go watch my Cyberpunk Red review that I just made public.
Awesome. Go. All right, folks. Go. See you next week on Neon Arcade's channel. Same time, 8 p.m. Central European time. Bye.